Wizard. 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 Wizard.
Maybe he was going off of the succession letter is what Bishop wanted. That's probably what made him made that statement. But we know now that it was
Extremely important.
yeah we just the direction that we're going in. We're in an ever changing. Maybe he was going off of the succession letter is what Bishop wanted. That's probably what made him made that statement. But we know now that it was
Extremely important.
yeah we just the direction that we're going in. We're in an ever changing world. We talk about
Yes.
we're in an ever changing world. So it's a lot of things that we used to do. Just
Mental capacity test.
a mental evaluation. That's right. So
They
many
had to
different things.
they had to be fully and completely vetted to make sure that they could handle the business of that church. You're
Along with several of the saints, it's disheartening. Um, just to even see our brothers and sisters on the other side, just being bamboozled,
yeah.
being bamboozled by these.
Organizational context is it's in black and white. If you want a copy of these bylaws, if you drop your email, I can send you them because they're clear. They're logged at the state. This is public information.
And I called you. Yeah, after Bishop's death. I said, hey, bro, this is the same guy that was, talking all this noise and stuff and saying all this, this ill intent, this very malicious and degrading things about
the nasty stuff.
Right.
Another podcast post from Conversation Kings. This is literally a cry from the heart of a ministry, New Life Church of Orlando, because we have been wounded. We have been seriously maligned.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. What's going on? I haven't seen my people in a minute, it seems like, and it just seems as if it's been like so long since I seen y'all. So tonight, I wanted to make sure that I came back because I wanted to talk with all of you who tuned in to Conversations with the Kings. Now, y'all know that I started a teaching series on how to rebuild a ministry after it has been decimated by like just terrible leadership. But tonight, I'm not going to go into the lesson number 2. I am actually at a different place. Tonight, I am actually going in now. What's going on? What's going on? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, just a minute. Hold on. Let's see what's happening here. My video. Okay, what's happening? What's happening? Yo, what is going on with with this thing tonight. Like, what is happening with my camera tonight? My camera wants to act up and everything. I just don't know what's happening right now. Hold on, y'all. Let's see what's going on with my camera. The camera trying to act up tonight. All right. I am. It looks like I might have to do this thing over again. This thing is not acting. This thing acting crazy. All right. Let's see what's going on now. See, it does not want me to talk about this tonight, but I'm going to. Trust me on that. It's gonna happen. All right. Even if I have to open up another window, which I might just have to do that. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. All right, yo. Hold stand by. Stand by, people. Stand by. All right, there we go. Now I got to do something different. All right. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on for a minute there. So anyway. All right. So listen, y'all. Tonight is like I'm so glad that you all are here tonight to actually be a part of Conversation Kings. Um, Tonight I do have a special guest that's going to be joining me soon, and a lot of you are going to really love this interaction that's going on tonight. But I just wanted to kind of like give an update regarding New Life Church of Orlando because I had an opportunity to speak with one of my cousins, and in speaking with my cousin, who is a district attorney, and I'm not going to say where he lives or even call out his name. But I did explain to him the situation that we were in. Now, he was raised up in the Church of God in Christ as well. A lot of us Scaniers were raised up in the Church of God in Christ, thanks to my great grandmother Luvinia Scaniers, who over 100 years ago at this point joined the Church of God in Christ. She left Mount Moriah Methodist Church, Mount Moriah's African Methodist Episcopal Church, and joined the Church of God in Christ during the Great Revival. But I had an opportunity to speak with my cousin, and something that he really said to me it resonated, and I just wanted to share it because this is an encouragement to New Life Church of Orlando. A serious encouragement, a real encouragement, so that everyone knows and is aware of what is going on. And I just want to say to all of us, be not discouraged. Don't be discouraged about it. Don't be afraid about what we see that's going on. Don't be discouraged. Don't be dismayed. Don't even be disgusted or in despair because of what is happening and what we see taking place in New Life Church of Orlando. I don't want anyone to be discouraged or dismayed or disheartened because we've been going through this thing for over 2 years now. And it was said to us by one of the other attorneys that it was probably, I don't know what's going on with Matt. It ain't sitting right. Okay, there we go. It was said to us by one of the attorneys that it was going to probably be about this time frame. And it has taken about this time frame. So this is what we're looking at. But I had an in-depth conversation with my cousin. So I'm by no means giving out legal advice at all. So don't even take it as that. I don't want anyone to even take it as that because I'm not giving out any legal advice. However, The discussion that I had with him, he actually broke it down to me because I was asking specific questions about our legal status, about our situation. I told him everything from A to Z. It's not like he had not heard it because he's a part of the Church of God in Christ and he knows everything that's, all the different things that are going on legally with the Church of God in Christ around the nation and possibly around the world. But there are so many things about the Church of God in Christ that people do not even know and or realize that is happening in the Church of God in Christ, like right now. And so many legal things that are happening even now as we speak in the Church of God in Christ. And so he was able to share with me based on what I shared with him. So I'm going to break that down, and then my guest is coming in. He might be on at the time that we are, discussing what's happening. He may be on at that time. But one of the questions that I posed to him was, it's like, where are we, and the likelihood of New Life Church of Orlando. And let me just preface it by saying this: any church, right? Any church. What is the likelihood of any church that is winning a case against people who are coming against the founder of that ministry and the church's chance of success in litigation? He said to me, are going to depend on several key factors. And one of the things that he pointed out to me is, number one, he said adherence to the church's bylaws. All right. Now, we already know because we have copies of the bylaws, and I have a copy of those bylaws right here with me. I don't know if you all can see, but I'm going to hold it up to the camera so that everyone can see. And as you can see, the date that it was filed. Okay, you can see that. You see the date. You see the date that it was filed. All right. So it's very important that we are adhering to the bylaws in these pages. These pages. It's critical, the information that is in the pages of these bylaws, right? And I just want to let everybody know. My guest is here, y'all. So I just have to introduce him. I really want to introduce him. So let me bring him in. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this is the incomparable, the amazing,
Whatever.
the always stay the same and never change. My brother, my friend, who I love from the bottom of my heart, Prophet
Love
Elder
you,
Dwight
man.
Fowlers out of
I love you.
Jacksonville, Florida. Man, I love you, bro.
For
And I'm
real,
so
for real.
glad, man, for real, for real. We brothers, we joined at the hip right with this
Oh,
thing,
listen,
man.
you are in my book. And
Look, just break me up a little bit, somewhere to start selling. Get on the New York Times bestsellers list. Just say, hey, so Prophet, I am actually going into the just talking about because I had an opportunity to speak with one of my cousins who is a district attorney, and
okay,
I shared with him some of the things that were going on. So I'm gonna break that down real quick, and then we're gonna go into what we're gonna talk about. But at any time, if you want to jump in while I'm commenting, please do so. But I did let the people know I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving out any legal advice.
your disclaimer.
My disclaimer from the jump: I'm not giving out any legal advice. The only thing that I am doing is reporting to you all what was said to me by my cousin.
Okay,
And I have in my hand a copy of the original bylaws that was signed and listed with the state of Florida back in 1999 by the now late Bishop Derek W. Hutchins. And these bylaws were still in place, current, and effective upon his sudden demise. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And so when I presented the story and the history to my cousin who was also raised in the Church of God in Christ. And, it's pretty much a story. Everybody knows about what took place back in 1998, 99 with Bishop Chandler Owens and the whole
Mhm.
thing that was going on. Everybody is aware of that. And he said to me, he said, adherence to the bylaws is important. He says, if the bylaws clearly state that a new pastor must be elected by the board and the congregation,
Mhm.
and if the founder's brother bypassed this process, his appointment could be deemed invalid in court. Courts generally enforce an organization's bylaws unless those bylaws violate state or federal law. And I'm here to tell you that these current bylaws, these bylaws that were deemed, they do not, because I don't believe at any time that the state would have even ratified these bylaws if they went against the Constitution, not only of the state of Florida, but the Constitution of the United States of America. And these bylaws are clear, clean, and fair. And so that was one of the things that he said that we can count on. He also brought about some instance regarding corporate governance and state nonprofit law. And he said that since the church is incorporated and its bylaws are state approved, the actions of Dennis may constitute a breach of fiduciary duty. If he is a board member or officer, and he was at the time a board member and an officer. So many states require that nonprofit leaders act in the organization's best interest and not for personal gain. Um, then he said, he asked me, are you all a 501c3? I said, yes. He says, well, when it comes to 501c3, compliance is extremely important. And if Dennis has been using church funds for personal legal battles or personal expenses, this could also violate the IRS rules prohibiting private inurement. What that means is personal benefit from nonprofit funds. And the IRS could also revoke the church's taxes exempt status, or they could impose penalties. And that's what I'm afraid of for us currently, that we could have penalties imposed on us, and also, most importantly, our tax exempt status be revoked. But I think that our attorney has put in the proper information, and we've taken the proper steps to be able to kind of like stave that off. He asked me about, do we have evidence of mismanagement? And I told him I believe that we do have evidence of mismanagement of funds. His comment to me was, if the membership can prove financial misuse, meaning unauthorized legal fees, personal spending, which we do have evidence of, then we would have strong grounds for removal and potential legal consequences as this thing goes on, because now it's in appeal. So I know that you came out of an independent church, and
Mhm.
you are now Church of God in Christ. One of the things I'm going to ask you in the next segment is, what are the differences that you see, and if you can kind of elaborate on that. Because this has turned into a whole, because we're not downing any pastor or anything like that, any legal pastor. We're just kind of taking a look at where leadership is going in this dispensation. So let me just rush through this. um, Listen, ladies and gentlemen, for us especially, and I'm speaking specifically to those who are in the same situation as New Life Church of Orlando is. Legal ramifications for misusing 501c3 funds. If you are a 501c3 church and those funds are being misused, you really need to understand that there is civil liability that you can be sued for by the members of your church, because there's a breach of fiduciary duty. If that person is an officer or a board member, there can be fraud or embezzlement charges if the funds were used for personal lawsuits or expenses. And that is also a violation of the bylaws if the property and the church and everything was seized unlawfully, and they were. According to our bylaws, these are the things that happen. They are a violation of the bylaws. The church was seized unlawfully. It was a
Mm,
ruse. It was a tactic, and it was done covertly. And then they tried to turn it around on us and say that we did a hostile takeover. But the bylaws, the rules and the regulations in the bylaws were never followed. Now, here are some penalties. He levied this at me. He said, there could be intermediate sanctions according to the IRC code or statute 4958. The IRS can impose excise taxes on excess benefits using church funds for personal lawsuits. This is a personal lawsuit because he's trying to pretend as if the church is suing the church. It's really him suing the members of the church,
mm,
basically the church, because we don't agree with him taking over the church unlawfully. We could also lose our tax exempt status. So if the IRS finds systemic misuse, if they're looking at systemic misuse, the church could lose its 501c3 standing. And that is scary to me. And I'm not trying to hide anything from the members of New Life Church of Orlando. I don't want them to be surprised by anything that comes down because they did not know. I'm not hiding anything that I find out from them. And the reason for that, Prophet, is the fact that these people have given blood, sweat, and tears over the years. And they have also been in this, so many. Since 1999, it has been a real struggle. And here we are in 2025. And it is still like we're repeating the same thing that happened to us in 1999. This time it's not from the bishop of the Church of God in Christ, but it's from within. It's the brother. So
mm,
that in itself is just scary. So he asked us, what are we doing? I told him we were in lawsuit, that the original judge, Judge Jordan, had handed down his legal, what we were supposed to do. And then after he handed it down, we were we were thrust into an appeal. So um he gave some actions for the church to do, and I told him our attorneys are already doing that, as we speak. We he sued, we countersued. But what's once everything is done, what needs to happen is, he says, there needs to be an internal review. The board members, the elected board, and the membership need to hold a formal meeting per the bylaws, because that's what the bylaws state. And that's going to challenge. We've already, well, actually, I told him we did that. We challenged Dennis's authority. You know, we had a meeting, the church and the newly elected board. We had a meeting. We also demanded financial accountability, which we've never seen yet. We have yet to see that, but I believe that an audit has been requested, an independent audit of the church finances, so that we can trace back the misuse. Some of those records were retrieved by Deacon Atkinson and also by Elder Van Johnson. They were able to get their hands on some financial records before the before it ended, before they shut down access to the bank accounts. So we have a strong case. He said, based on what he is able to surmise, if the bylaws were violated and the funds were misused, the courts typically enforce bylaws, and nonprofit leaders who abuse funds can face serious legal consequences. So the key is for us to gather the evidence. That means the financial records, the meeting minutes, which we have not had. We haven't had meeting minutes in God knows when, and we need to move swiftly. So we did that. We did fast enough because we were in talks with another jurisdiction in another state that had the same exact issue. Excuse me. But you know what, Prophet? They waited 13 years before
mhm,
they did anything. And so their fight was much more arduous than ours,
mm.
because they simply waited a very long time to make things happen. So um, that in itself is that's the update for us, New Life Church of Orlando. And for
Right.
any other church that is involved in this legal battle like we are,
Mhm.
um, and so let's move into the next segment. As we know, and I told you, and you agreed that there is an epidemic in leadership in ministry worldwide.
Yeah.
What say you, sir?
Well, we see where our voices, when I say voices, I'm talking about key voices, are being either dissolved or muted.
Wow.
And we need a voice. We need people who will stand up and one for one, stand up and, as a representative of God Himself. That's why we use the term "man of God." That's a
Yes,
whole
yeah.
nother essence.
Oh, hit
We
it,
need
bro.
people to have good character. We need people
Yeah.
to have love for community, have love for the sheep. And we right now, it's like we're in the celebrity status. Everybody want to be famous. Nobody's serving, you know. And as we get into the conversation a little more, we will see where we have no voice now.
We don't. We
I'm
don't.
just being honest. I hope not to offend nobody, but these are our thoughts, and these are our experiences. We don't have no voice. We don't have nobody who was
Absolutely.
basically in the trenches doing things to connect the church with the community and have governmental influence, with what the Bible will refer to as kings and all those people. We don't have that now.
So
Um,
when I agree with you. I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to say when you're saying governmental influence, like let's say for instance the city that you are in, the government influence would be the pastors and the leaders in that city having communication and building real relationships with the leadership in the city, the mayor, the commissioners, the police chief, the sheriff, building those types of relational infrastructure, and having a voice so that they can be the ones who these people look to for any type of guidance. You are absolutely right. Those voices are being silent, and all I do see are the ones they are seeking celebrityship. Their Facebook pages, their social media pages, they look like movie stars more than they do like
this,
leaders. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to look good. I'm just talking about the presentation.
yeah, yeah. I want to ask you: are we streaming on Facebook?
We are.
Okay, because I couldn't find you over
Hold
there
on. Let me. You know what? Let me see what's going on here.
because I didn't
Cause
see it. Didn't show that you were live or anything.
hold on.
'Cause I want everybody to hear this conversation because we are dealing with something.
There is. So I'm live and I'm trying to let me see, let me see. I'm not hiding it from my profile. It's asking me like edit the post. I'm like, I don't want to edit the post. I want the post to be live. So
I
how do
see
I
you on
make it
YouTube, but I
public?
don't see you on Facebook.
I see it on the Facebook page. I'm wondering what is going on. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me see. Like this is crazy. I'm trying to I have it. Let me see. Let me take a look. Let me go to the settings.
Yeah, she said I can't find it. So she came on here. That's my girl. Hey, I was I was used to mispronounce her name, but
Who
that's my
that?
girl. Uh,
Elise, my
uh
sister.
huh.
I wonder, man, I am trying to figure out what's going on, Dwight. It's like it is
Yeah, you
not
only showing up on YouTube.
now it's like pausing me even on my what is going on? Like even on my camera is pausing. Like what in the world is happening here?
Oh, see, this is a hot topic they don't want to get out.
It does. You're right. You're right. They don't want it to get out. They do not. And that's crazy. Let me see what's happening here. And now the camera done switch crazy. Like, all right, there it goes. There it goes. But do I
Yeah,
get
'cause
this?
I post.
I see it like it's going to my Facebook channel. Let me see. Let me see. Conversations, YouTube conversations. Yeah, I see it. Oh, you know what? You might be right. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. All right. All right. I see what it did. Oh, for real? Come on.
Miss you more, my sis. Lord have mercy. My girl, that's my girl. Yeah, because it's not coming up on
I see what happened. All right, hold on. I'm getting ready to get it. I'm getting ready to put it in right now. It is acting a fool. Uh, send email. Yes, send code. All right, hold on. I'm about to get this done right now.
Did
You are
you
so
have to
right.
start it over?
No, I don't have to start it over.
But none of them people, none of you is your main audience on Facebook.
Yeah, they are, and that's why it's like, what in the world? What in the world happened here? Hold on. All right, there we go. All right, hold on. All right, seven, seven, six, two, six, seven. All right, now it's gonna take me around the monkey bin. Give me a second. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, okay. And it's still create a password, a strong password, combination, numbers, letters, and punctuation. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, hold on. Really? Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, what is this saying? This thing is crazy. We sent a notification to your iPhone. All right, where at on my iPhone? I'm just waiting. This is crazy. Okay. All right. So six. I get it. They need all these different types of whatever, whatever.
Yeah, I know how it go. You know I know.
Oh my God. All right. All right. Stay. All right. Now, let me see here. I need connect. Yep. Continue. Channel already added. All right. So, all right. It should be done. It should be on there. It should be on there. So let's go back
Go
and
to your
see.
page.
Go back and see. Go back and see.
I don't see you up.
Oh, oh, come on, come on, come on now. This thing is crazy. I'm showing it's saying streaming. Let me see. Let me go out. Come back in. Oh my God, this is crazy. I still don't see it, bro. And it actually is not. I'm showing it's not sharing to. It's not sharing to Facebook. Let me see. Let me see.
You need to go out and do it again.
I might have to. I might have to. Let me see. And I don't want to do that. But but let me see. Let me try one more time. All right. Let me do this. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna come back in.
Okay. All right.
All right.